For cheap and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, check out EasyMut.com and use code SPORTS for 5% off your entire order. What's up, guys? It's Duke back here from SportsGamers.com. In today's Madden 21 tip, I want to break down the best pass defense in the game. This defense is great because it has great coverage and also brings great pressure. Now, this defense you're going to want to use when your opponent is running 3 receiver formations. You don't really want to use this if someone has 2 running backs or 2 tight ends because this is, like I said, pass defense. You can stop the run from it, like if they're running inside zones and whatnot. Standard runs from shotgun you can stop, but someone who's coming out, say with 2 tight ends or 2 running backs so they can audible into heavy running formations, you don't really want to utilize this because, the run game this year in that case would be able to stop it. Now, for coaching adjustments for this defense, we're going to have auto flip off. Okay? We're going to be looking at the big dime 146. This defense was really, really popular last year. Probably the best defense in the game last year. This year, it's still very, very good. You just need to run it differently. In my opinion, it's just as good as it was last year. You just need to utilize it a bit differently. Some things I'd recommend is I would have at least one D lineman, like the D tackle, especially maybe for inside stuff, to help you out when they do try to run the ball. I'd make sure you have a fast corner in the slot. That's very key. If you look at your depth chart, you'll see with the Ravens, if you give me a second here, obviously, Humphrey, he does have 92 speed, but, we obviously don't want our best corner in the slot. We want him in coverage, so we're going to use Harris. So we're going to go ahead and sub him in. The other thing about this formation is you can put let me just get Harris in here. You can put your safeties in and linebackers, so if you don't have the fastest linebackers, you can put safeties in. Now, honestly, Queen on regs, super good. We're going to just leave him in. But, if you're playing mud and have a whole bunch of great safeties that are super fast, you're probably going to want to sub them in. So let's look at cover to sync. And I'm going to show this to you against lots of different formations. We'll do some spread, some trips, some bunch, some blocked running back, some not. Let's give you guys a great look at it. So let's start with spread, just a basic formation right here. So guys, before we get too much further, if you're enjoying my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also turn your notifications on. That way you won't miss out when our videos go live. Drop us a like. It helps us out a lot, be able to continue to do these videos for you guys. Now, in the meantime, if you're looking to improve at Madden 21, whether you need help on offense or defense, be sure to check out SportsGamers.com. We have the best Madden 21 tips and ebooks. We post tips every single week in the Madden Vault, at least 4 to 6 tips to stay on top of your game. And ahead of the competition, always we're delivering the cutting edge meta each week. So this setup is super easy, guys. Against certain formations like this, you are going to want to baseline, but you don't always have to baseline. You really only want to baseline against formations that have, your linebackers and DBs misaligned. You can press coverage if you want. I personally like to. And then we're going to slide this corner in, which you don't always have to do. But we're going to just move him in next to this D end. Now, this edge rusher. Now, sometimes he'll already be there, so you don't have to do that. It just depends upon the offensive formation, and you'll see some examples of this in this video. The only other thing we do is we QB contain, which you can just do simply R1 for PlayStation. Obviously, for Xbox, you can do it too. RB, I believe. I play on both, so, it just depends the system. And we're going to go ahead and then we're going to spread our D-line out. We do that by hitting the left on the D-pad and then up on the left analog stick, just like this. All right, so that's how it's going to look. You have the option. You can either use or control one of these inside linebackers, is what I normally do. Now, guys, if they don't have the running back on the same side of the screen as our blitzing corner, generally not too worried about him, and I'll just control this guy in the vert hook. You guys will see here, this guy's just going to come off that edge really fast for the sack. Now, there is a way that you can set this up to where even if they do block the running back on the same side of the screen, it will beat it, and we'll show that in a second here. I want to look at gun trips tight end right now real quick because, everybody loves trips this year. It's a very good formation. This is a good defense against it because, you can get quick pressure on the stopped inside zone. But as you guys can see, just a 4-man rush. Pretty much the whole field is blanketed. Maybe you could try to dump it in the flats, get a few yards, but without zone drops on, they're not going to have the flats wide open. Now, if you do turn your zone drops on and drop them back 20 or so yards, then yes, obviously they could hit the flats. Now, we'll do tray wide flex, which is essentially, again, very similar to trips. And you guys are going to see the setup's super easy. I'm going to do it real time here so you guys can see how fast this really is now that I've kind of explained it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to baseline, we're going to press, we're going to spread our D-line out, we're going to QB contain. We're going to move this guy in until he's on the contain next to the D end, then we're just set up. As you can see how fast that setup is, you can control a linebacker or a safety if you want. One additional thing I would mention is I do like to put my user on a blitz angle, and I'm not blitzing with him. The only reason I do this is because blitz angles, if you don't already know this, after the snap, you get more control of your player. You can just move more fluidly. It goes for a better user. And it also does help if they do end up running the ball to be able to attack the gap. But as you guys can see here, I'm not actually trying to like blitz or anything. All I'm doing is it's just literally for the purpose of being able to move around better with my user once the ball's snapped. Basically I just, at the snap, I take a half step forward or whatever, but then I'm just dropping back over the middle field in coverage or whatever. You don't need to fake rush or engage with any old linemen. Like I said, it makes your user a little bit more smooth. And it is something pretty much all the best players do this year because it works so well. You guys can see again the pressure coming off the edge. Now, I want to go up against a few different types of formations now. We did a spread, we did a trip. So I want to do bunch because bunch is a formation where you'll actually see a lot of people use this year. And it's one of those formations where you don't actually have to move anybody because your defense already aligns to it perfectly. So here, we're going to gun bunch. And I will show the running back block so you guys can see how to beat that. But look at how against bunch, your slot DBs are already lined up next to the DN. So you don't have to base the line against formations like this. You can just basically leave it be, spread your D-line out, QB contain, and you can rock out like that. No other adjustments necessary. So honestly, this is one of the best defenses you can use against gun bunch because it's just so easy to set up. Everyone's aligned right. Like I said, the only thing you need to look out for is those people who want to sub in multiple running backs or tight ends just so they can audible down to run heavy formations. But for the guy that wants to stay in shotgun the majority of the game, run the ball here and there, this defense is clamps. Because as you guys can see here, you get such good pressure, but at the same time, the coverage, you're only rushing 4. Is great. You can do whatever you want with your back and coverage adjustments. So here I'm just kind of keeping it stock. But obviously you can utilize zone drops on your flat zones, your hook zones. You can do things to where you play kind of a Mabel type defense to where maybe you have a cloud flat dropping back 20 yards, and then you have maybe a curl flat set to 5. So you cover the deeper routes on the sidelines and the quick flats all in the same setup. Either way, it's very adjustable. So let's go ahead and look at if they do block the running back. Now, the only difference you want to do if they do block the running back is you want to, and it's something I went over a lot last year with a lot of different blitzes, you just want to man up the linebacker on the same side the screen is in, and everything else is the same. You still spread out your D-line, you still QB contain, and in this case, I control this linebacker right here. Now, going back to what I was saying with different adjustments, you can man people up, you can do lots of different things. Like, you could change this into a hybrid coverage to where everyone's manned up, something like this. You can do a lot. Like, there's a lot you can do here. So, it doesn't just have to be cover 2, but with this formation, with all the DBs on the field, you have the ability to do a lot with your coverage. And guys, I'm not going to stick with the all-out man coverage. I just want to show you guys that is an option. I will, like I said, with the running back block, make sure I do man up the inside linebacker on that side of the screen, though, so that the blitz still comes in. When I control this linebacker right here, regardless of who I control, I do put him on a blitz angle even though I'm not blitzing. Another additional adjustment you can do if you want is to crash the defense inside or down, the D-line I should say, and that's just left on the D-pad and down on the right analog stick. That's an additional step. You don't have to do it. I like it a little bit better myself, but it is an additional step. I feel like it does get a little bit more pressure for me, a little bit more shed for me, and it's a little bit better against the run, but it's not necessary, so you don't necessarily have to do that. But you guys can see, even with the running back block, it screams in. Just going to do that one more time for you guys so you guys can see how quick and easy that is. Now, I will say you can press coverage if you wish. That's just completely up to you. But, everything else, is just the same setup, basically. All you got to do, though, if you know they're blocking the running back, is just man up that inside linebacker. And it doesn't matter if you sub a safety in there or not. he's gonna make that running back just kind of step up in the pocket. You see that and ignore the rusher. Therefore, I'm able to get the free pressure off the edge. Now, I will say there are ways you can block this setup. Using different, more advanced tactics. However, if you can, if you run into someone that can block the simple four-man rush, there is even a way to counter that. There's a way to run this blitz that's going to get pressure pretty much no matter what. If you want that setup, it's on sportsgamers.com in the Madden Vault. You can get all my premium tips in the vault. Again, it's 4 to 6 tips a week, and it's just $12.99, guys. If you join my content, it's a great way to support me and help me continue to grow. And I do appreciate all the support I do get. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tip. Again, you guys can see how quick and easy this pressure is off that edge. The only thing about this blitz or this pass defense is you really want to stick to only using it against formations where there's 3 receivers, because if they're using multiple heavy formations like 2 tight ends and 2 running backs, you can get run on. So hope you guys enjoyed the tip. Until next time, I'm out of here.